Hey, what's up, everybody? Welcome to another episode of the Doorpreneur Podcast. I'm your host, Tony LeBlanc, and today we're going to talk about the power of masterminds. And this is a very, very important topic for me because if it wasn't for the power of masterminds and coaches, I don't exactly know where I would be right now. If I were to compare my life 7 or 8 years ago to what it looks like today, there is a drastic difference. And one of the biggest things that I can basically, the reason for that, I believe, is it was an awakening, a personal awakening that I had happen probably about 7 or 8 years ago that led me into a direction of self-development. I know you hear this a lot with a lot of different people. Sometimes it's in the context of religion. Sometimes it could be in the context of they've gotten into a bad accident or they've injured themselves and they kind of had some sort of a rebirth or a reawakening type of experience happen to them. For me, it was because of a book. And it was a book that a gentleman shared with me. And I'm going to actually get it out. And for those of you watching this on this video, you'll be able to see this. It all started with this book. It was called The Leader Who Had a Title. The Leader Who Had No Title by Robin Sharma. I was given this book by a friend of mine number of years ago. It was actually the first self-development book that I'd ever received or ever read. And it absolutely changed my life. It brought me to a level to where I was asking myself a whole new set of questions that I had really never experienced before, I never thought of, and I never asked myself. And it was a huge awakening. And through that, I went through, obviously I started diving into more and more books as time went on, got more interested into developing some of the skill sets that I knew that I was missing, working on some of the weaknesses that I had, whether it was in my family life, whether it was my physicality, my sports, my athletics, and of course within my business. And through that entire experience, I started looking. I started wondering, okay, well, are there other people out there that teach and coach people and mentor people? Because that was one of the major things that I believed that I was missing. So even though I consider myself blessed to have been raised by an amazing mother that did a great job in terms of, educating me in the world of property management, there was a lot of just business skills that I found that I was missing. And I was able to get a lot of that throughout my career at IBM. And, always the self-taught type of person. I always kind of went out on myself to learn new stuff. But I felt that I was finally at the point where I was starting to get a lot more serious in terms of my own entrepreneurial path. And I was like, I need to kind of start investing into this a little bit more than I was at that time, which was zero. I was just getting into the whole world of reading in the self-development world. And that brought me to one day sitting in front of my computer. I was going through a lot of different things. And at that time, I was actually recently separated from my first marriage. And a coach, a program, an ad popped up on my screen. It was a Facebook ad. And it drew my attention. It caught my eye. Dove into it deeper, got sent over to a sales page, and I was like blown away. I felt that this person on the other side of the screen was talking directly to me. He knew every pain point that I was feeling. I felt that he knew everything that was going on inside of my brain and that he had the answers that I was seeking. He was able to explain my pain and my problems 1,000 times better than I ever could. And that I was frustrated with that. It's like I have all these feelings, I have all these emotions that I'm going through, but I don't know how to verbalize them. I don't know how to speak them. I don't know how to speak my truth. And I didn't have the level of vulnerability to be able to even share or ask for help. It was like, I was in a very, particular state. And this ad and this person, this gentleman, I was just like completely attracted to what he was putting out there. And that's when this whole journey of, my coaching and this mastermind idea started to get put into my head, because it was the first time that I experienced anything like this. Before I ended up kind of putting my credit card on the line, I had read a lot of different books. I consider my path so far in this journey of self-discovery and bettering myself and becoming more. I've had a lot of different coaches. I consider the books that I've read and the authors to be some of my first coaches. And here's kind of some going tribes, Seth Godin, amazing. The EMyth, this is probably one of the first books, business books that I ever read, to where I knew that it was describing me to a T, that there were 3 types of business people. You have the technicians, you have the managers, and you have the entrepreneurs. I identified wholeheartedly and 100% with being an entrepreneur. I'm a creator. That's me. And it allowed me to be able to pinpoint the type of person that I need to partner with, which became the technician. So throughout my career, I've always positioned myself and partnered myself with technicians, because I need people to be able to not create, but take my ideas and actually turn them into realities. So another great book, Traction, so EOS, Cal Newport, Deep Work. I can't talk enough about that book. It is absolutely phenomenal. And if you want to get to a place to where you can bring yourself to be able to get to a mind state to where you can do deep work, deep, concentrated, focused work, that's when your business really starts to take some different changes. Grant Cardone, not a big fan of his lately, but I have read some of his books. Byron Katie, Loving What Is, Game Changer, gotta read that one. And of course, my all-time favorite author, which is Robin Sharma, has written so many great books, right? The Monk Who Sold His Ferrari, the 5 a.m. Club, the list goes on and on. And of course, I can't leave out a good book list without my coach, Garrett White. So the Black Book, the Warrior Book, must have. The End. That one's non-negotiable, should be in your bookshelf. So the power, what I've learned over the years is that by investing money into a coaching program or into a mentorship program or into a mastermind has really held me, it's given me a new level of accountability. There's a lot of stuff out there that's free. You can get a ton of resources on Google for free. Anything you'd want really is probably somewhere. So if you look hard enough, you can get it for free. But what it's missing is the ability to make you and keep you accountable for the things that you say you want to do. And that's where my issues were. And I think that a lot of business people have those same issues as well. And I know particularly in the property management world, we are so busy all the time, constantly, doing this, doing that. Our schedules are always full, constantly getting preempted by all these different people, that it's easy for us to say, okay, I'm going to do this and I want to do this, but we don't maybe always get those things done. And even more rarely do we have someone to keep our ass to the fire, right? There's not a lot of really business coaches in the property management space. There's a ton of life coaches out in the environment, but there's not a lot of whole masterminds and coaches within our industry in property management. However, that's getting better. I'm starting to see some come up, which some look good for some people and some don't. But the power of a mastermind and coaches really comes in your ability to accelerate the results that you're looking for. Consider it like a shortcut. It's a paid shortcut to get you from A to Z, right? I know when I invested for the very first time in my first coach and this mastermind I was going through a separation. I was going through a divorce. It was ugly. There was a lot of emotions. There was a lot of this. There was a lot of that. So I was attracted to it from a business perspective, but at the end of the day, it actually helped me with a lot of life skills that, I'm so grateful that I was able to get through that experience. And then it's exposed me to a lot of other different possibilities and perspectives within life and business. And it taught me the importance of a balanced lifestyle. I was either all family or all business or all sport. Never was I able to properly spread the love, if I can say that, amongst all the different areas of our lives. Like I wholeheartedly, I bleed black, so I live in four different components: body, being, balance, and business. Everything that I do is balanced throughout that quadrant, and it has served me incredibly well over the last number of years. So being part of this environment has really accelerated my learning curve in terms of getting me from where I was 6 years ago, kind of in my baby infancy stages of my management company, to where I am today, having the 3 offices with our management company, thousands of units under management. We're now up to 7 service companies that we've started and incubated out of our management portfolio. I wrote a book, did an Ironman last year, have now finally been able to start my own coaching and mastermind programs that teaches all of the Doorpreneur things that I've put together over the years. Like there's no way that I would even have been able to see all of this 6 years ago if I wouldn't have made that one call that one day and had that one-on-one call, and then I gave him my credit card to be able to move forward in that experience. And it's completely changed the trajectory of my life. If there's everything that I look at in terms of my kids, my new partner. I'm getting married this year to a woman that I love to death, that I've been with for over 6 years now. I'm happy. My businesses are thriving, physically, athletically. At 44 years old, I'm in the best physical condition I've probably been in my entire life. My spiritual connection with myself and, all of these different things have come from participating and investing in myself and within coaches and in masterminds. So it's been a complete game changer for me. So I don't know, where you are in terms of your journey. I think you're listening to this podcast because you're looking for a source of perhaps of motivation or inspiration for you within your management company or maybe within your life in general. And I hope that this podcast provides some of that. If you've never been part of a business coaching environment or a mastermind environment, I strongly urge you to become open to that concept, because it really is. It's a shortcut to be able to take you from where you are today and to where you want to go. It collapses time, because the person that you're investing in should have the experience and the tools to be able to collapse the gap towards where you want to go. That's why you're paying them. That's why you've hired them. So anyways, I hope that that's of value. I hope there's some things that, you got out of this that you can be able to kind of ponder on. Like I mentioned, the Doorpreneur is now super happy and excited to be able to announce that we have an in-house, we call it the Doorpreneur Academy Mastermind, to where we do monthly coaching in terms of helping other property management companies stabilize and grow their management company, and then put a plan forth to be able to get them into the Doorpreneur model. So take your property management company, stabilize it, grow it, make it become profitable, and then start building other services to complement your rent roll. So start looking at launching a maintenance division. Start looking at maybe launching a snow removal, a landscaping, a cleaning division. Tons of different ideas that you can plug on to your management company, and that's what we're all about. That's what the Doorpreneur book is all about. It's about living the balanced lifestyle, and it's about taking a amazing, fantastic property management company and growing it beyond its rent roll. So if you want to know more about that, send me an email, tony@doorpreneur.com. Check out our website. I've got a lot of great stuff in there for you to be able to look at and to study. It's doorpreneur.com. Also, I want to put a note, YouTube. So my YouTube channel is growing quite rapidly. I've been putting out a lot of great content and putting a lot of time into some training videos with regards to some of the technology that we're up to, as well as just some life stuff and some property management stuff that we're chatting about. So anyways, you can go check that out. Just in YouTube, just search for Doorpreneur and you'll find me. So anyways, guys, that's all I got for you today. Hope you got some value. Please, if you can, the only thing that I ask from my listeners is if they can share this podcast with one person, just one person, and with hopes that I can be introduced to some new people out there so that I can help spread this message. If you're not subscribed, please do that, rate and review, and until next time, cheers guys.